Alrighty folks, can you see the screen? Alrighty folks, can you see the screen? Alrighty folks, can you see the screen? And you can also hear my echo. That's good. That should be resolved now. Okay then, let's do a refresh and truly begin. Okay, let's put this show on the road. We're gonna first start with a game which is a bit glitchy, but we'll see. Not sure. Greetings everyone, my name is Ailuri, and welcome to my Let's Try of the alpha demo of Isotope Ash, a top-down deck-building RPG in development by Yubin Lee. I'll be spending up to 25 minutes on this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. I want to do this again, something glitched. Greetings everyone, my name is Ailuri, and welcome to my Let's Try of the alpha demo of Isotope Ash, a top-down deck-building RPG in development by Yubin Lee. I'll be spending up to 25 minutes on this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. I'll be spending up to 25 minutes on this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. Whoops. That was fast. What do you mean so soon? Are we an android? A cyborg? Sure, why not? What would happen if I picked no? I'll be spending up to 25 minutes on this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. I sure hope so. Mysterious voice. So our main character's name is Ash. And we're currently stuck in a warehouse in Isometropolis. Time to find a way to get out of here. Dancing, dabbing. What's this area? A lot of E-tanks there. We found a grenade. A lot of centennials here. Do not use. A stray energy tank. It's gonna blow up, isn't it? Rats, they're all activating. You might not be harmed. No thanks. I don't trust your words of encouragement. Let's move. Should have checked. We survived the blast. I knew that energy tank was gonna explode. Now our map's damaged too. I know exactly what game you're referring to, Jaden, but I can't remember the name. We got Grenade G. I'm not gonna modify my deck until I fight a few battles. Cryptobite. Sure, let's fight. First battle. So, like Battle Network, we can load in our shards. Let's start by loading in a bunch of blasters. How do we fight? Okay. Okay. Got it. It was pretty weak anyways. And we start with a lot of blasters. I believe the closest equivalent to blasters in Battle Network is Cannon. Gladius G. Let's try out daggers. So like a sword. So like a sword chip. I might as well fight all of them. Thanks for walking to place there. This game is Battle Network basically. Sidewinder S. Okay, let's take a look at our shards. Ground. Sure, let's put them all in. I see we have a C code as well for Blaster. I'm curious. Can I pull off a program advance or whatever it's called here? I don't really want all these daggers. Sword's nice, but it's really short range. This game's heavily inspired by Battle Network. Perhaps Jaden, when the next one comes out. Hello there, Pico. Depending on the processor speed, that's fairly slow. Depending on the processor speed, that's extremely young. That could be extremely young. Way ahead of you there. I already fought 3 battles. Yeah, I'm running past, dude. I can actually control my character by clicking too. By doing so, I can just run past. By doing so, I can run while talking to people. Normally, my controls are kind of locked up when talking with people, so I can't just run around. But by using the mouse, I can just bypass that. So that's the first major bug I've discovered. New enemies. Let's try doing it. Let's try pulling off a compression code. Cool, like a super cannon. In that case, I won't cover the demo. It's too soon. Wait. How do I undo this? I see. I'm gonna try a grenade. As well as Gladius. Man, this is like a slower version of... Man, this is an even slower version of Mini Bomb. Is it just me, or are the cannon chips... Is it just me, or are the blaster shards fairly powerful here? Nope, this is Battle Network. No preemptive strikes. Well, I think the game is froze now. I can't do anything here, and it's stuck on this menu. Things are happening in the background, but this isn't disappearing. Whereas the previous bug was kind of funny, the second one is game breaking, so this is going to be a forced restart. Welp, that's why this is an alpha. By the way, I'm using the latest version of Firefox to play this. This is supposed to be a cyberpunk RPG, by the way. I get... True, some more than others. True that. Some more than others. I mean, of all the demos... Of the last 2,000 demos I played across the channel, this has been the glitchiest so far, actually having a game crashing bug. I still like how in this first section it injects humor. It injects humor into the situation. It's not completely serious. In that way, it reminds... I like how in this introductory section, it injects humor into the situation. It's not dead serious. That's why I tend to prefer playing beta demos of games, at the very least. Also, the sound is kind of desynced. Okay then, let's try avoiding finding them this time. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Let's try avoiding finding them this time. Ah, Sentinel. Let's fight them. It's so satisfying to pull it off. Finally, a basic enemy type who is actually somewhat durable. My objective here is to figure out how to escape from this warehouse without getting mauled or frozen again. Three of them. That's nice. Ah, found me. Some of the chips have an odd delay before they fire. Some of the shards have an odd delay before they... Some of the shards have an odd short delay before they fire off. This is especially noticeable with the blasters. Hook. Spear. Dagger. This is especially noticeable with the blaster shards. Spear is probably long sword. Gladius is white sword. I don't really need that many heals. It must have kept all my shards from my previous playthrough, which crashed. And currently there's no limit as to how many shards I can have in my folder. It's pretty easy to dodge these enemies, all things considered. There are no random encounters whatsoever in this demo. Oof. No thanks. Ah, neat, you can actually bypass some battles if you play Pacifist. Toko. No kidding, they have terrible eyesight. I want your power cell. They must have a vision cone, which I can't see. Hopefully one of these bots isn't actually carrying a key card or something. If that's the case, I have to fight all of them. Okay, fine, we'll fight him. Of the recent Battle Network inspired games which... Get closer, please. I know you can. It doesn't want to move. Fine. Plan B. As long as I don't mash the E key, I don't think I'll get stuck. There's so many shards available here for free. Sorry. I hope I'm not missing a door or something. If that's the case, I'll just end the demo right now. I knew there'd be a fake box. I knew there'd be a chest here. As I was saying, of all the recent Battle Network inspired games I played, of all the recent Battle Network inspired indie games in development, this most closely resembles the overworld gameplay. This most closely resembles the overworld gameplay. Huh? So you can get knocked out of chips too. So you can get knocked out of chips too. So you can get knocked out of shards too. Gameplay wise, I prefer One Step from Eden or End Cycle over this. Gameplay wise, I prefer One Step from Eden or End Cycle over this. But that's more because so far the battle system is but that's because so far the battles have been very straightforward. But that's because so far all the battles have been very straightforward. Well, I think I've been running in circles for the past 5 minutes or so. I haven't found a way to get out of this place. Maybe it's in here. Your custom gauge goes by pretty fast too. It's almost as if we have fast gauge all the time. This isn't right. You shouldn't be able to equip multiple chips of the same. You shouldn't be able to equip multiple. You shouldn't be able to equip multiple shards of different types. You should only be able to do so if. You should only be able to do so if they're all of the same letter. You should only be able to do so if they all have the same letter, but they don't. You look straight out of Star Force. You look straight out of Star Force. Immortality? Totally a bonus boss in Star Force. I knew it. That's how I unlocked the door. The solution was that straightforward all along. I didn't check this. I checked out this door during the first playthrough, but I thought the way was blocked off. But I misremembered and thought the way was blocked off. But I misremembered and thought the path forward was blocked off. An elevator. This looks cool. This is intended to be a Battle Network inspired cyberpunk RPG. This is intended to be a Battle Network inspired cyberpunk RPG. This is intended to be a Battle Network inspired cyberpunk RPG. This is intended to be a Battle Network inspired cyberpunk RPG. And this marks the end of the demo. And this marks the end of the alpha demo. The graphics are... So here are my overall thoughts. The graphics are definitely reminiscent of the GBA era. The graphics are definitely reminiscent of the GBA era, of the Game Boy Advance era. Music was fine as well. Music was fine, albeit not that memorable for me. Gameplay was... The important baselines are there. The foundations of Battle Network gameplay. The foundations of Battle Network gameplay are here, but they need much more meat on their bones. But they need much more meat on their proverbial bones. And then there's those two major. And then there are those two bugs which I encountered. And then there are those two bugs which I encountered. And then there are those three bugs which I encountered. And then there are those three bugs which I encountered. The first one was kind of silly. The second one was outright game breaking, and the third one violates the rules set by. And the third one violates the rules for setting. And the third one violates the rules for selecting shards. I will note that some of the graphics do need more distinguishing, such as which doors you can interact with. Such as the doors. They blend in a bit too easily with the environment. The battle system was fine. Although there needs to be a shard limit on the folders. Right now you can just stack... Currently you can stack them to almost infinity. Meaning that you can spam your chip... Meaning that you can spam your shards... Meaning that you can spam your shards to victory. Moreover, the limits on the full... Moreover, there needs to be more limits... Moreover, there needs to be more limits placed on the folders. Moreover, there needs to be more limits placed on the shard folders. I guess these limitations weren't put in... I suppose these limitations weren't put in place due to it being an alpha demo, but for future demos, I'd advise putting a hard limit as to how many shards you can place in the folder at once, as well as a max limit of how many shards of each kind you can have, such as only being able to put in 5 or 6 cannon types, such as only being able to put in 5 or 6 cannon such as only being able to slot in 5 or 6 cannon types at most, such as only being able to such as only being able to include 5 to 6 cannon shards at max. Right now, you can spam your shards to victory. Also, there needs to be some... Also, on top of that, the enemies need better telegraphs. On top of that, the cryptobites need better telegraphing. The other two enemies have better telegraphs, but the other two enemy types have fair enough ones, but the cryptobite attacks come out too fast. Currently, the overall gameplay does remind me of Battle. Finally, the overworld does remind me of the Battle Network gameplay style. And as Buster stated, please zoom in the battlefield. Right now, it doesn't seem to scale to the game's window. So it looks like we're viewing a battle from a far distance. Finally, the overall gameplay does... Finally, you did sort of nail... Finally, last but not least, of the several Battle Network inspired games which I played recently, this one nails the overall gameplay the closest, but still has a lot more to go. In general, this title has some promise, but it has a long ways to go before I'd even say it's sufficient. Nonetheless, I wish the best of luck to the developers of this title. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Alright, moving on to the next demo. Oh, and before I forget, thank you for adding a multiplayer option. I wish more Battle Network inspired games had this. Okay, we should be getting started really soon with the next one. Okay, looks good to me. Let's put this show on the road. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try of the demo of A Star of Chrome, a 2D action-adventure game in development by Shoehead Art. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try. One last go at this. I should have gotten it ready. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try of the demo of A Star of Chrome, a 2D top-down action-adventure game in development by Shoehead Art. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this game, giving my first impressions along the way. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try of the demo of A Star of Chrome, a 2D top-down action-adventure game in development by Shoehead Art. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. Let's see. Menus. That seems good. I wish the menu system was a bit awkward. Less. XX. Mars is no longer a dead planet. Decades of work have gone into its transformation. Thousands of young people are leaving the Martian cities for the frontier. You've packed up everything you own, and along with your best friend, you've struck out too. But it wasn't to be. Along the way, disaster struck. And we awaken on this bed. Fairly well. Welcome to Van Allen. We must have got attacked by... We must have got attacked by bandits. Hang on. If you're wondering about the Zelda text, yeah. It does use some things from Zelda. Something's straining the CPU. Hang on, I need to fix this. From the top. Greetings everyone, my name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try of the demo of A Star of Chrome, a 2D top-down action-adventure game in development by Shoe Art. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. Input systems. XX. Mars is no longer a dead planet. Decades of work have gone into its transformation. Thousands of young people are leaving the Martian cities for the frontier. You've packed up everything you own, and along with your best friend, you struck out too. But it wasn't to be. ... Along the way, disaster struck. And afterwards, we wake up in this house. Van Allen. We must have got jumped by bandits. This is the Martian West, after all. This is the Martian West. This is the Martian West, after all. There'll be far more Zelda. There'll be far more Zelda parallels as we go further along. We got a shield. There'll be far more Zelda parallels as we go forwards. There'll be far more Zelda parallels as we go further. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. And a hat. So, to the graveyard. We even have the ability to roll. So the intro is a combination of Link's Awakening and the Minish Cap. Link's Awakening in the sense that we wake up in the bed and acquire a shield. Minish Cap as we can roll around. The Catacombs. Minish Cap in the sense as we roll around. Minish Cap in the sense that we can roll around the place. Small key. Minish Cap in the sense that we can roll around the place. Huh. That was odd. It was rather particular of where I could push it. We found the map. Poor Koopas. Skulls? Teaching me that I can drop them into the pit. Hello there, mysterious figure. Hello there, mysterious floating figure. Fanta. And we got a sword. And we obtained we procured a sword. And we can even spin attack with it. This game isn't trying. This game isn't even. This game isn't even trying to hide its Zelda inspirations. This game isn't even trying to hide its Zelda inspirations now. This game isn't even trying to hide its Zelda inspirations now. This game isn't even trying to hide its Zelda inspirations now. But hey, I like Oracle games, so I'm not complaining. Who puts the sword in the catacombs? Who puts the sword in the catacombs? Ectoids. This also reminds me of the Oracle. This also reminds me of the Oracle 8. Let's talk with some of the townspeople first. This also reminds me of the introduction to both Oracle games. This also reminds me of the intros to both Oracle games. This also reminds me of the intros to both Oracle games. This also reminds me of the introduction. This also reminds me of the intros of both Oracle games. In the sense that you go through a in the sense that you first go through a in the sense that you start by going through a short dungeon. A very short and easy one. A very short and easy one. In the final game, likely several side quests will start and end here. In the final game, likely several side quests will start and end here. There's the sheriff's place. King Kobold for theft, murder, jaywalking, and poor hygiene. What happened to you? Are you drunk? Way ahead of you. What's down that well? Let's take a peek. Wait a minute. Isn't this the Game Over team from the Oracle games? You mean a heart piece? Lefty. Lefty. Can your twin tell me about the past? Can your twin righty tell me about the past? Can your twin righty tell me about the future? Can your friend righty tell me about the past? I think this team the overall team is unique. I'm not sure. I think the overall team is unique. I'm not sure. I need a hammer. Or a rock's feather. That's me. Here's the map. What's with the boat? Autos. Some oil. This gas station has seen better days. It could be from Seasons. It's been too far. This house is in ruins. This house is in a state of disrepair. Divils? Remember that for later. There's the forest. Basically, red potions. Hearts, dynamite, and a gun. Come on, I want to buy it. Basically, bombs. Have I checked everything? Almost. I can blow this up. Don't tell me they're gonna be fake walls here. I have to access it from the other side. There must be a staircase somewhere. Nope, not there. I'll come back to this later. Enough delaying. We're off to the forest now. Tibia Wood. I could explore the eastern part of the town. But I'll save that for later. Or perhaps for the next demo. These must be the kobolds they were mentioning. Those look spiny. I need a rock's feather. No, these are actual kobolds. Ah, I need a small key for this. Interesting. Usually we only need to apply small keys when we're in dungeons. Usually we only use small keys when in dungeons. Hello there. Well, we're going in. Kobold Hideaway, the first true dungeon of this game. Welcome to the Kobold Hideaway, the first true dungeon of this game. Welcome to the Kobold Hideaway, the true first dungeon of the game. So far, this is basically Zelda taking place on Mars. So far, this is basically Martian Zelda. So far, this is basically Martian Zelda. So far, this game is basically Martian Zelda. Hello? Let's try it again. So far, this game's basically Martian Zelda. What? Why can't you move? That's odd. It should have worked earlier. All the music and sound effects are... All the music tracks... All the music tracks are likely placeholders. 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 All the music tracks are likely placeholders for now. All the music tracks are likely placeholders. Come to me. Come on. Thank you. Not quite. I really think the first item I'm going to acquire is the Rock's Feather. I strongly believe the first item I'm going to acquire is the Rock's Feather. Or a hookshot. I strongly believe the first item I'm going to acquire is either going to be the Rock's Feather. I strongly believe the first item I'm going to acquire is either going to be the Rock's Feather, or the hookshot. See, I can't get across without some help. And this doesn't help without a key. That probably leads to the boss, too. Maybe one of these walls is fake. That sounds a bit off. Maybe? Nope. Nothing. What? Ah, this enemy type. Trying to attack enemies. What? I thought I needed a key to open it. What happened? So all these chests were openable and so all these chests were actually openable. So for all this time, all these chests were actually openable. So for all this time, all the chests were openable. So for all this time, all these chests were openable. Worm. So for all this time, the chests were openable. I just misinterpreted the symbol. Silly me. Mini boss time. This must be Mold Worm's cousin. This must be Mold Worm's cousin. Wait, I wanted that. And our reward is the boomerang. I'm not really using the shield at all, so I'll assign it to that. That'll work as well. This should work as well. Wrong button. Honestly, I would prefer... Honestly, for first enemy type... these jumping skeletons are actually kind of dangerous. Honestly, for first enemy type, these bouncing skeletons are more dangerous than what you expect. Honestly, for first enemy type, these jumping skeletons are more dangerous than what you expect. Honestly, for first enemy type, these jumping skeletons are more dangerous than what you expect. I would have much preferred the key. I would have much preferred the keys or Octoroks. I would have much preferred the keys or Octoroks. I would have much preferred the keys or Octoroks. I would have much preferred the key. I would have much preferred keys or. I would have much preferred the keys or Octorok. I would have much preferred the. I would have much preferred equivalents to the keys or Octoroks. Boss time. King Kobold. He has guns too. I see something's on top of him. Maybe I have to boomerang onto it? Because I don't think my sword is doing anything. No, he's actually taking damage every time I strike him with the sword. I thought the flashing was indicating something else. See? I think at least. At least I think that's what's happening. The feedback needs to be made. The feedback needs to be made more obvious. The feedback needs to be made more obvious, however. The feedback needs to be made more obvious, however. The feedback needs to be made more obvious. I barely hear a sound effect when he takes I barely hear a sound effect when he takes damage. I only see the flash. I only see a flash. And we acquired an extra heart. In the Zelda games, when you hit an... In Zelda games, when you... Whoa. In Zelda games, when you attack and... In Zelda games, when you strike and damage enemies and bosses, they make a pretty obvious sound effect. This first dungeon was nice. Oh, where are we now? Hello, developer. This first dungeon was nice. I liked it. Once I realized that those chests are all openable without a small key, it became very straightforward. In fact, I should probably grab that right now. No, this is the way out, actually. Never mind, we're out of here. In Zelda games, when you strike and connect with enemies and bosses, they make a pretty obvious sound effect. In addition to the flashing. The first dungeon was nice. Once I realized you could open those chests without using a key, it became very straightforward. So here are my overall thoughts. This is basically Zelda. This is basically a Zelda game taking place on Mars. This is basically a Zelda game. This is essentially a Zelda game taking place. This is essentially a Zelda game taking place on the Martian version of the Old West, of the Old Western frontier. This is essentially a Zelda game taking place on the Old Western, taking place on the Martian version of the Old West. The graphics and music definitely remind me of the Game Boy Color era, albeit cleaned up so there isn't popping. Albeit with a richer color palette and no audio pops. Albeit with a richer color palette and no audio popping. Gameplay was fairly solid as well, although I have one major critique. As Jaden pointed out, this game needs some. Although I do have one major critique. Although I have one major critique. As Jaden pointed out, this game needs some serious As Jaden pointed out, this game needs some improvement with its kinesthetic feedback. This game needs some improvement on its kinesthetic feed. This game needs some feedback on the kinesthetic feedback. On a kinesthetic feedback front. On a kinesthetic feedback front. Enemies do react to my strikes. Things do react to Things do react to my strikes. Things react to my strikes. Things react to my strikes. Things react to my strikes. But the feedback needs to be greater. It barely feels like I'm making a dent on them. It barely feels like I'm damaging them. For most of them, it feels like I'm barely damaging them. For most enemies, it feels like I'm barely damaging them. With the exception of the kobolds. Who actually bounce back when I hit them. That's nice feedback. This is why I had some trouble with the boss, because I wasn't sure if I was damaging. This is why I had some trouble during the boss fight. I didn't know if I was dealing damage to him or not. I thought I maybe had to use a boomerang. In order to make him vulnerable. As most Zelda dungeon bosses are weak to the as most dungeon bosses in Zelda are weak to the respective dungeon item, are susceptible to the respective dungeon item. Here it wasn't the case. A similar situation to the chests. If that visual pop-up didn't exist, I'd be less confused. In any case, this demo shows promise. I wish the best of luck. In any case, this demo shows promise. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time with it. I enjoyed my time with it from start to finish. I wish the best of luck to you. So I wish the best of luck to all. I wish the best of luck. I wish the best of luck to the developers of this title. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. One more, and we're done for the stream. Next one is going to be looking a lot prettier. Okay, let's rev this up. You should see it starting up in a moment or two. I just need to gather some of the information. Let's see if it links. Okay, you should see it, I think. Okay. Red. Yeah, you got it. You got it correctly, Pixel Boy. It's a red panda. Hang on while I get the information. Hello. Vivink Studios. Got it. Okay, let's rev this up. 2, 1. Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my Let's Try of the demo of Ailuri, a 2D hand-drawn action platformer in development by Vivink Studios. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. I'll be spending up to half an hour in this demo, giving my first impressions along the way. Aww. Those are their parents. Here's Ailuri. Look how beautiful this forest is. Delicious blueberries. Oh my. Look at the beast at the background. There's Ailuri's parents up there. Hang on. I'm hearing something. So here's Ailuri. Look at the beautiful forest. One sec. Have to make sure everything is getting caught correctly. FYI, I won't be able to see your chat unless I take breaks. So, have fun. Here they are. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Delicious blueberries. Oh, look at that creature in the background. One of Ailuri's parents is fighting it off. One of Ailuri's parents is trying to fight it off. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Look at this beautiful forest. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Delicious blueberries. Oh, look at that beast in the background. One of Ailuri's parents is trying to fight it off. Really? Doesn't count. Here they are. Look at this beautiful forest. Delicious blueberries. Look at that mechanical beast in the background. One of Ailuri's parents is trying to fight it off. One of Ailuri's parents is trying to fight it off. Ow. Don't worry, Rabbit, I'll save you. I'll count that as a save, I suppose. Teaching the player without explicitly telling them. Red means danger, blue safe. Teaching the player without explicitly telling them. Red means danger, blue is safe. Geronimo! Into the water we go. Ori? Are you one of Ori's relatives? We're back. We now have 2 something. I see. We now have two of some. We now have two of something. Just like their parent from earlier. Aim. We now have two of something. Just like their parent from earlier. They're not F yet. Not quite. We now have two of something. Just like their parent from earlier. I don't think their parents are dead just yet. I don't think their parents are dead just yet. It could be their ancestors. So we have two objectives here. Reunite with Ailuri's. So we have two objectives here. So we have two primary objectives here. Find Ailuri's parents. Find Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals. Find Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals. Ah, must be a save point. Find Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals. So far this experience has been really adorable. Save Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals from the mechanical beasts. Save Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals. Find Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals from the mechanical beasts. Bring Pumpkin here. Oh, it's a bonus challenge. Locate Ailuri's parents. Locate Ailuri's parents and rescue the endangered animals. And rescue the endangered animals. And rescue the endangered animals from the mechanical beasts. And rescue the endangered animals from the mechanical beasts. I see you. And rescue the endangered animals from the mechanical beasts. That's one down, but there's a bigger problem now. This thing. That wasn't too hard. I thought it would have a shockwave attack. That wasn't too hard. I thought it would have a shockwave attack or something. And this marks the end of the demo. A fairly short but adorable one. Gameplay wasn't... Oh, I missed the seedling. I don't think their parents are dead. I don't think their parents are dead. They likely got separated during the fire. They likely got separated during the fire. They got separated They got separated during the They got separated during the attack. They got separated during the attack on the forest. Those are probably their ancestors. Yep, if you find all the secrets, you'll unlock a bonus stage, a boss level. Yep, if you unlock all the secrets, you'll unlock a bonus level, a boss stage. But I'll be saving that for later. Nice some. Oh yeah, and all the species we rescue, they're all endangered species. Oh yeah, all the species we rescue in the game, in the real world, they're all endangered. Oh yeah, all the species you rescue in this game, in the real world, they're all endangered. Oh yeah, all the species we rescue here, in the real world, they're all endangered. So here are my overall thoughts on this short demo. Actually, maybe I could get there. There is a final stage. I could get the pumpkin there, so let's try doing that. It still maintains my progress as well, so not too much of a problem. In fact, the pumpkin is actually fairly lightweight for what it actually looks like. In fact, the pumpkin is lighter than what it actually looks like. In fact, the pumpkin is actually lighter than what it looks like. In fact, the pumpkin's actually lighter than what it seems. In fact, the pumpkin is actually lighter than what it looks like. As you can see here, it's pretty easy to move around. Too easy in some cases. Must be a magic one. And there we have it. Pumpkins right here. And that's our seedling. Now let me finish the stage and then we can actually access the bonus level. I thought the pumpkin would be... Cute jump scare. I thought the pumpkin would be much heavier than it actually is. That's why I didn't even go for it. There we go, 100% completion. As long as you play carefully... dying is... It's not too difficult to not die. And by obtaining all the collectibles, we unlock a final bonus stage. And by obtaining all the collectibles, we unlock a bonus stage. And by obtaining all the collectibles, we unlock a bonus stage. And by obtaining all the collectibles, we unlock a bonus stage. All in all, I didn't expect it to be... All in all, I didn't expect for it to be this easy to unlock to get all the secrets. All in all, I didn't expect for it to be that easy to get all in all, I didn't expect for it to be that easy to get all the collectibles. There needs to be more feedback when hitting enemies though. Ow. There needs to be better feedback when... There needs to be better feedback when impacting enemies though. Right now there's barely... Ow. That was bad, I'm dead. I fell in the wrong spot and that ended me. I fell from the wrong spot and that ended me. I fell from the wrong spot and that ended me. Sorry for the jump cut there. Unlike the previous stage, this is actually difficult in terms of platforming challenges. You don't have that many iframes either. Yeah, there needs to be a better indication where you'll fall if you drop down from there. Because once you jump down, you won't have that much time to react. There needs to be better indication of what happens if you drop down from there. Because once you do, you barely have enough time to react. In fact, I'd say it's safer to take the bottom route. Come on, let me out. Thankfully, checkpoint placement is fairly generous. Outside of the one level design quirk, this is fine. You barely have any iframes in this game, so if you get trapped in the middle, you'll be taking quite a bit of damage. Outside the one oversight, this level's fine. Fine, we're going down. Oh no. It's the machine from the start. We can't fight it directly. We need to run. Thankfully, this beast is kind of patient. Oh, I see. It takes damage from the pillars falling on it. Oh. Inertia. I was thinking the hitbox extended a bit further. Now let's do this the correct way. There's an interesting dichotomy happening in this game. All the Woodlands creatures look adorable. Oh, whoa. There is an interesting dichotomy happening in this game. All the Woodlands creatures look adorable, whereas all these mechanical creatures look rather scary. How do you even get past this? This creature. Of all the enemy types, it's the most annoying to deal with because they don't have that many good air attacks. There's an interesting dichotomy happening in this game. There's an interesting dichotomy happening in this game. There's an interesting dichotomy in this game. All the woodlands creatures and life forms look adorable, whereas all the enemies look rather creepy. Whereas all the enemies look... There is an interesting dichotomy. This game has an interesting dichotomy. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. There's an interesting This game has an interesting dichotomy. All the woodlands creatures and life forms look adorable, whereas all the enemies look rather creepy. 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 Ah, we made it. Whereas all the enemies look rather creepy and unnatural. It's over. Oh no, don't go there then. Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, scratch it? What happened? I really don't know what happened there. I might have got crushed. I think I know what happened there. I got crushed. Unfortunate. Alright, this will be my second or last attempt, then I'll finish this. I was almost there. I thought I was safe, but I ended up getting crushed or something. This is supposed to be... But I get why this is... I get why this is a difficulty spike. I understand why this is a difficulty spike. This is supposed to be an optional challenge. This is supposed to be an optional challenge for more advanced players. For more advanced players. This is supposed to be an optional challenge for more advanced players. This is supposed to be a more advanced challenge for more... This is supposed to be a more... This is supposed to be a more difficult challenge for more advanced players. Come closer, please. Ah, delicious blueberries. In essence, this boss is... Well, to be fair, this is not a glorified auto-scroller, because it does try attacking us directly. To be fair, this is not a... To be fair, this boss is not a glorified auto-scroller. Oh, close. Attack, attack. Again, this is the most annoying part of the fight at the end. I really think there should have been better blueberries. You can make it all that far, only to die. You can make it this far, only to die to the fireballs. You can make it this far, only to die to the fireballs, or not enough blueberries. I get this is supposed to be a greater challenge, but please give better restoration items. I took extra damage there for some reason. I couldn't break out of the roll. I like the idea of this battle. It's not a glorified auto-scroller, because it does try attacking us directly with those fireballs. But it's long overstayed its welcome. And there's this enemy type, which is super annoying. And then there's this enemy type. And then there's this enemy type, which is super annoying to deal with. It's because of this why It's because of this one why I keep taking damage. It's because of this one. And then there's this enemy type, which is super annoying to deal with, as I don't have good... I just tapped. What? And then there's this enemy type, which is... And then there's this enemy type, which is super annoying to deal with. I like this at the start, but then this keeps I like this at the start, but this keeps happening. Honestly, well, I'll explain at the end. The rest of the game is fine, it's just this section which needs some tweaking. What did I get hit by? Was it that fireball? Game, let me get out of this position. And now I'm trapped in rolling. Once more and I'll finish this. See, for some reason I was trapped in... See, I'm trapped in a rolling state. I don't know what's happening. I can't even break... Yeah, I'm glitched. I can't beat this correctly. Oh well, I'll quit now. Alright. See, I like this battle. Well, this is the final demo we'll be covering, so I can't really move out. See, I like this battle to start, but there are several things that pull it down for me. First and foremost, I don't mind it being an extra difficult challenge for more experienced players. But due to how this escape sequence is structured, it makes it rather frustrating for me. First are those two flying enemies, which are a pain to deal with, which are a large pain to deal with. First are those two flying enemies, which are a large pain to deal with. As Ailuri's air attacks aren't that good, as Ailuri's paw swipes, as Ailuri's air sw- Ahem. As I was saying, first were those two flying enemies, which are a large pain to deal with. As Ailuri's flying at, as Ailuri's air, as Ailuri's air attacks aren't that good, and they don't have, and they barely have any iframes, and they barely have any iframes, so you can get knocked around really easily. Adding to this problem is that you don't get that many health. Adding to this problem is that you don't get that many air. Adding to this issue is that you don't get that many health refills. So if you end up perishing anytime during this battle, you're sent all the way back to the beginning. Which is especially a problem near the end, where it's rather easy to accidentally walk into a fireball, or as I discovered during my first attempt, get crushed by a tree. Otherwise, the rest of the game is fine. Otherwise, The rest of the game is completely fine. I love the hand. I love the hand. Otherwise, the rest of the game is completely fine. I love the hand-drawn graphics. It makes everything look so adorable. Sans the enemies, of course. Music was pleasant to the ears. Music was pleasant to the ears. The music and ambience was pleasant to the ears. The music and ambience was pleasant to the ears. Gameplay was very straightforward. Gameplay so far was very straightforward, other than the final stage. Gameplay so far was fairly straightforward. Gameplay so far was fairly straightforward, even with the magical rope. Even with the magical rope. Even with the magical rope. The final stage is where we... The bonus stage is where we truly... The bonus stage is where we truly tested our mettle. The bonus stage is where we truly tested our mettle. And I liked it, and I enjoyed it up until the boss battle. And I enjoyed it up until the boss battle. In any case, I'll be looking forward to this. In any case, regardless, I'll be looking forward to this title. I wish the best of luck to the developers. I believe most of these issues will be straightforward to resolve. I believe most of these issues will be fairly straightforward to resolve. I believe most of these issues won't be too difficult to resolve. I'd advise adding a checkpoint in the middle of the battle. I'm not sure if it'll make the battle too easy, but I would advise adding a checkpoint in the middle. I don't know if it'll make the battle too easy or not, but I would advise adding a checkpoint. I don't know if it'll make the battle too easy or not, but I would advise adding a checkpoint in the middle. I would advise adding a checkpoint in the middle. It would greatly ease my frustrations. Nonetheless, I quite enjoyed my time with this demo. And I wish the best of luck to the developers. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. In any case, I enjoyed my time with this demo, and I wish the best of luck to the developers. Well then, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Despite my criticisms and frustration near the end, I quite enjoyed my time with this demo. So this marks the end of the stream. Thanks for attending, everyone. Tonight I'll be either covering a new game or getting back to an older one because it had an update. See you all then.